What's up, guys? Welcome to Street Champs. Got DavidTookIt in here today. How you
Heck yeah.
doing, David?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
Hell yeah, bro. Fucking thanks for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah. What were you up to before this?
Shooting, man. That's literally all I do. Pretty much every day for like the last 2.5 months. It's with no days off in between. I don't even schedule days off right now.
Damn, the grind never stops.
Dude, literally the grind never stops.
That's awesome to hear, man.
Yeah, heck yeah. No, it's good. It's a real blessing to be able to have that with zero advertising. Like I've spent $0 in advertising. I just ask people, hey, can you tag me in this? It helps me out. And I don't even expect it. Oh shoot, I don't even expect it, and they all come through, and just the little tag helps, and making sure they don't cut my watermark off and stuff. And yeah, man, it's been crazy.
Damn. So tell the people what you do.
So I'm a photographer, videographer. I specialize in fitness, senior portraits, family, maternity, couple stuff, and I do video for small business promotion. I don't really touch music videos, and we can touch on that too a little later. But videos. I love documenting people doing what they love, and that's kind of what it comes down to.
Hell yeah. Uh, how long have you been doing that?
I shot my first wedding with a real camera in 2015, but I had paid gigs. I just shot it on an iPhone. I showed up with an iPhone and a stabilizer, and it's all in the editing anyway. And for what I was shooting at that time, it was super super cool, and it worked out. It looked great. Most people probably didn't even know it was shot on a phone. I used that money, bought me a camera. Started off with like a $500 Sony camera, the A6000, in case you guys want to look that up. Super capable camera, and bought stabilizers, sliders, gimbals, like fluid head tripods from there, audio gear, and yeah, kind of went into that, and was shooting weddings while I was working a 9 to 5, and just kind of made that happen. Made some extra side money on the weekends, and yeah, it's just been insane.
Damn, hell yeah.
But
So,
2015,
damn. So only like 6 years.
6 years, yeah.
Nice.
But seriously, a year and a half, which is even crazier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a fast come up.
Yeah, I'm fortunate. I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I'm very happy with the look that I can provide now, and I don't feel like it looks like anybody else's stuff right now. So we'll see if people start to try and ride my wave and duplicate what I do, but I'm confident that you'll never catch my look unless you steal my computer. But, yeah.
Totally, man. Yeah, that's a big part about being a photographer. You need to have your own style.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's like a corporate look, like if you have a real estate shoot, you don't want, to do too crazy of editing. Like there's a standard, but like with portraiture and stuff like that, like you can really start to develop your own style. And once you find that look, just like a rapper, you have to find your voice. And once you find that voice, you dig into it, and nobody sounds like you. But yeah.
So, where you from?
I'm from here, from Pueblo, Colorado, born and
Nice.
raised. Went to county high school, graduated in 2012. I think you graduated not long after that.
Undisclosed.
Undisclosed. Oh, still working
No.
on it.
Yeah, still working on the GED.
Yeah, no, that works. I know some people.
But what was your upbringing like that made you want to?
Honestly, my parents, I had a solid, stable upbringing. They both had government jobs, and that's what I thought, you do. They had the old school mentality of you get a government job, you join a union or whatever, you get a good pension, good benefits, and you work your ass off there, and then you retire one day, hopefully. And I did that. I did just that. I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and then I did it and realized I didn't like it, and had the opportunity to get out of that situation and slide right into this seamlessly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So good parents. What was high school like?
Dude, I had a solid group of friends, like I never really had issues, honestly. Social media was like really starting to take off, like freshman, sophomore year, smartphones became more readily available and more cost efficient. I think the iPhone like 4S dropped in 2009, 2010, so that would have been my freshman, sophomore year. So like that kind of changed the game for a lot of things, like video and photo, and the ability to take decent photos with a phone, which, like I said, is where I started.
Mm-hmm.
you take that picture. In the early Instagram games, everybody was just taking food pictures. Like that's all Instagram was just like flex your food. So like I'm a firm believer in like I don't delete anything. So my business page or my personal page, you can scroll all the way to the bottom and see the growing pains. But like literally I have pictures of like spaghetti and lasagna on my on my Instagram, and you just start learning to tweak with colors and stuff, and that's kind of where editing kind of happened too.
Mm-hmm. So you don't delete anything.
You can ask me about a photo shoot and I can go pull the raw files right now off of a hard drive. Once a hard drive fills up for me, I buy them 2 terabytes at a time. Once that hard drive fills up, I put it on the shelf and I start a new hard drive, and it's just dated. So as long as I know the date range, then I can pull any photo shoot, any video shoot I've ever done, and pull the raw files and the edited files. And within the last year, I can pull up a cloud base. I can send you a link with all the edited photos from any photo shoot I've done in the last like year and 2 months.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm terrified of losing data, and I want to be able to have that for my clients too. I've had people unfortunately reach out for wedding footage. Like, hey, do we have any shots of my grandpa? He just passed. And I would go through the footage and send them any shot. They might not have been the best shot, and it might not have made their video. But just knowing that her grandpa was in that shot, I was able to give them more footage and any photos that I might have had at that time too. More recently, I did like a family shoot. The son died from COVID, and so I sent her all the shots that I had of her son. Like even if I had to crop it, make it look a little better, just so she had more memories of that day, because I was the last person who took photos for him and her. It's just crazy. You just never know. And memories at the end of the day are the only thing you have. It's just memories.
Yeah, because that's really what you're shooting.
Yeah.
You're not shooting photos, you're shooting their memories.
I'm capturing that moment in time, like my little saying, like my slogan, I guess my mission statement is capturing life's moments through memories, or capturing life's moments through movement. I'm freezing movement, in video and photo. But yeah, it's just a time mark stamp in time. That's really why I do it.
Yeah, man, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Love that.
Heck yeah.
So what was your first job right after high school? Because you own your own business now.
Yeah.
So I know that didn't come up just out of the blue. Walk me through that.
Yeah, absolutely. So while I was in high school, like I said, my dad worked for the government, so he worked for the state corrections. And I knew that's where I could get, and it's decent money, it's decent retirement, decent, like benefits. And so he was like, well, you're either going to go to the military or you're going to go to college. And I did neither of those. And instead, I was an intern at a halfway house here. So I was 18 years old, still in high school, kind of enforcing rules for these dudes who, have been to prison or are transitioning. Like the court can sentence you to a halfway house, or you can go to prison. It's either 1 foot in the door or 1 foot out the door. And, there's strict rules. It's a hard time, like you have a little bit of freedom, but like the system's designed for you to fail, so it gives you just enough rope. You're either going to pull yourself out of the situation you're in, or you're going to hang yourself with it, But yeah, so I was doing that in high school. I was an intern. The day I graduated, they called me and said, hey, we'd like to offer you a job because you need a high school diploma. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to. And they're like, cool, you start graveyard tonight, show up at midnight. And I was like, oh man, like we're doing this. So I did that, and I worked security at a drug rehab center for a while too. So they kind of go hand in hand. Most people who are locked up do suffer from addiction issues and stuff like that. And so it was the same owner for both of the buildings, and I would sometimes go to this building and I'd work overnight security, and then sometimes I'd show up to the other facility. But so I did that until the state shut it down.
Why?
There was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that I didn't know about. I found out it closed on a Friday. I found out on Thursday at 1:00. Like, hey, this is probably going to be your last shift. That was the first time I'd ever had to deal with like unemployment stuff. And that's a whole mess all in itself. Like if you make, let's say, God, back then I was making, it was more than flipping burgers, and that's what I was proud of. But it was like $9.50 an hour, and man, you'd make like $500 every 2 weeks, like, which is so crazy to say now. Like one of my photo shoots is like almost that price, depending on what you want. But
you heard it here first. $500.
You're right.
David took it.
Depends on what you want, but yeah, it's still great value. It's competitive, but anyway, where were we going with that?
Just like your jobs get into,
Oh yeah,
you know?
yeah. So you'd make like $500 or whatever, but yeah, it was a decent way to make a living. The state shut it down. There was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that I didn't know about, and then I went and worked at Verizon, and that's when I got into like the whole tech world and buying computers and phones and all that good stuff. And I've always been a techie, but now like it gave me a real reason, which gave me my first glimpse of being a business owner. You were strictly commissioned. So like if you don't sell phones, you don't make money. If I don't take pictures, I don't make money. So that went hand in hand, and I was super fortunate for that to come up. I think it was something that I had to do, at that time. And the halfway house reopened under new management. They called me, and I went back until I was about 21, and then I left there and got hired with the state prison. Went through their academy. Midway through their academy, the feds contacted me, and they were like, "Hey, we want to interview you." And so I went through their interview process and put in my 2 weeks at the state and went to the hiring like academy for the feds. It was a crazy year for that.
Damn.
Yeah, that was like, man, like this was my goal this whole time, because I didn't want to go to college or go to the military, but it's like, man, I'm here, like I'm federal law enforcement at that point, being 21. It's insane. Yeah. So I was like, man, that gave me a lot of cool opportunities. I bought a house, bought cars, stuff like that. I met a lot of really, really cool people, who wore blue and who didn't wear blue. There was a lot of guys that were in there. They were super cool, like I get it. They're in a predicament, and, you just treat them like humans. And a lot of people didn't understand that,
So working in the feds, you worked in a prison?
Yeah. Yeah. I worked in a federal prison in Florence, Colorado. If you don't know anything about that, that's a quick Google search and you can figure out what's going on over there.
Tell us a little bit about that prison.
It's the Mecca of prisons. It is the Alcatraz of the Rockies. There's the 4 institutions there. You have the ADX, which is the max of the max. You Chapo, the Boston bomber, all that stuff. All those types of guys are in there. Then you have a United States Penitentiary, Florence. Those guys are stepping down from the ADX. Sometimes there's some dudes who just can't function in a population like that. But those are your more dangerous guys. I didn't spend too much time in there. The medium, which would be, man, even bank robbers are considered medium in the feds. But there were some interesting faces in there too. And then the camp, which was like, man, tax evasion guys, healthcare fraud. There was a lot of millionaires and successful people in that low prison. There's not even a fence around it. There's, let's say a guy from the penitentiary is getting out, like an inmate will pick him up in a government vehicle in front of the institution and drive him to the airport. Crazy. You would never guess that.
To wherever he has to go?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
From the camp. So it's super weird. Some people, there's like a big debate going on, like, should federal prison camps be closed? Because you truly don't need them. They're kind of the worker bees of the prison. Like there's employees, and then there's like, okay, there's an HVAC guy, but there's an HVAC crew of inmates who does the actual HVAC work. So there's a big debate with that. I don't have an opinion on it, honestly. I just no against privatized prisons. I don't agree with that at all. But as far as like prison camps go, yeah, there's a lot of guys in there who could probably be put on an ankle monitor. Some old dudes in there too. Who just got caught up doing something dumb, a lot of white collar crime. So insider trading and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But so that gave me, God, I was there 5 years, I seen a lot for sure. Big disturbances. But yeah, that gave me like the motivation to want to get out. There's a lot of staffing issues going on there. You can look it up in the news right now. I just went and like, I stay true to like the people who are suffering. Like I quit my job because I was unhappy. They were understaffed. Like I would work 16-hour shifts 2 to 3 days a week. And that's like, hey man, your relief didn't show up. Like you're going to stay for another 8, like that. And sometimes it's that notice, it's like, oh man, I get off at 2, 2:10 rolls around. You call, you're like, hey, where's my relief? Oh, I guess he didn't show up. You're stuck.
In a prison?
In a prison.
Wow.
Yeah. So like sometimes I felt like, man, did I do a crime? Like I'm stuck here. So when I had the opportunity to leave and start my own business, I was doing it for the guy who had 13 years in, who couldn't leave because he has 2 kids, a wife who doesn't work. A lot of guys over there, their wives don't work because the cost of childcare. You're going to pay $700 for childcare, or they can work part-time, so they can work part-time, or you just pick up a couple overtime shifts and your wife's a stay-at-home mom. Like, which would you rather do? So a lot of them are single income families, and they do rely on that, and it is a stable job. But man, like, I everyone always said, like, you're meant to do something bigger. Like, when are you going to leave? And like, I had just dabbled in photography then. So I would do photos for, the families, that I used to work with and stuff. And they were like, when are you going to quit? When are you going to quit and just do this? And even up to the month that I quit, I would laugh it off and just be like, no, I wish, but until it happened, and I did it, but I did it for those people who couldn't do it for themselves, for sure, and I want them to live through me and the things that I can do, and I want to help them make a difference, and get that staffing situation fixed. They were just picketing not too long ago. I had a photo shoot in the area. I went and shot the picket for them, and I shot it to the union president. And I was like, yo, dude, like, push these wherever it needs to go. Like, you guys banded together as one, as a union, as you should be, and strength in numbers is what, pushes unions. And I was happy to see that they all came together for something like that. So I wanted to help support them, even though I'm not in that situation anymore. But I still have friends that are in that situation,
Totally.
Yeah.
It's a powerful photo. I bet that
yeah, I got a bunch of them, like, you can kind of see it in the faces. They're tired, man. Like, this situation has been shitty since I started, and that was, 5-6 years ago. And you're just empty promises from executive staff and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm fortunate I was able to get out of that situation and into this. I would have never guessed a year ago this is where I'd be, sitting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
on Street Champs.
Exactly, on Street Champs. I would have never guessed. Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Congratulations. That sounds like a wild story, man. Sounds like you were really involved with I guess on the good side of the law.
No, 100%. Yeah. And I mean, yeah, we'll leave it at that. Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, you started photography seriously about a year ago.
Yeah, actually, when I quit the feds, I quit mainly because I was calling off like every other Saturday, or like one Saturday a month to shoot a wedding. And like, I couldn't get a job inside of the prison. So there's like prison, and then there's like jobs inside of there. A lot of people don't know, like, you could be a doctor inside of a prison. You can be a lawyer inside of a prison. Like, that's a whole city within a city. So I was just trying to get the lowest paying job there that had weekends off that I qualified for. Dude, I tried 13 times to get into the warehouse, and I couldn't do it. They said, you're not qualified. You're not qualified. When, like, clearly I am qualified.
What do you need to be qualified for a warehouse?
That's what I'm saying. They hire that position from the streets is what we used to call it, but non-federal employees can now apply for that same job. And there is no qualification.
Fucking heartbeat.
Exactly. So I'm like, man, I'm trying to take a demotion so I can pursue this photography stuff and not kind of screw over the guy that's next to me. Because if I call off on a Saturday, there's less people to pull from who are going to voluntarily take that overtime. Versus like, if I call off on a Wednesday, maybe one of the other like education staff or like recreation staff might pick up that overtime. On the weekends, it's just you guys. It's just the officers, the necessary staff, because everybody has weekends off. So I tried to get that position. It didn't work out. So it forced my hand to call off, use some sick time on a Saturday. But it was hard not to, because I'd make a 2-week salary in one day, So like, that was like eye-opening to me. And so that's the main reason why I quit. It was like, I had six weddings set up between, God, it was September and the end of the year. And I thought for sure I would have that, other position. I'd be in that other position, and I could just, work 6-7 days a week, whatever. But that didn't happen. And COVID was hitting, and there was like a lot of shortages, and there was like weird furloughs going on. And like, yeah, I didn't want to deal with all of that. So I made the conscious decision to resign, essentially. Yeah. So I was burning my sick leave, as I would burn 3 days of sick leave. Because they don't pay you out on that. So I was like, well, I'm gonna get my money, so I would call off for that, and then they paid me out on vacation time. But so I had a little bit of a cushion, but essentially I quit my government job with 6 bookings in my calendar, and that was it. And fast forward to today. Oh yeah, at that time I was only shooting wedding videos. I refused to shoot families. I refused to shoot seniors. You know, I would just do like cool collaborative type stuff with like Pueblo models and stuff like that. But now I shoot families, I shoot all those other things, and I enjoy it, but it also is a steady income for me as well. But anything I do, I put my all into, whether I'm shooting, you know, some 5-year-old photos, you know, like, oh, it's his 5th birthday. Awesome, let's do it, you know. Or it's her 30th, you know, photos, you know. The 30-year-old ones, like, it's more powerful, you know, like I'm all about empowering people, empowering women. When you do look at my boudoir page at Off in the Night, you see like empowerment. I want to show you what others see in you, you know, through my lens. And there's a lot of girls that are like, I've never done this before. Guys too, of course, you know, I've never done this before. I shoot a lot of fitness. And I was like, 95% of the people I shoot have never done this. You know, it's all about being relaxed and, you know, let me capture who you are as a person. But yeah, going back to the like 6 bookings, I wasn't even shooting photos at that time. And you know, of course, like you have a camera, so you shoot photos, but I wasn't taking it serious. And then I started, you know, booking family sessions because it's like, oh man, I got to supplement the income somehow. I can't just keep doing weddings. And it kind of just blew up from there. You know, I quit with 6 bookings, and I probably did 6 bookings in the last 2 days. You know, like it's just so crazy how life has turned, you know. Now I focus a lot more on like the craft, and I'm really trying to make the jump towards like small business promotion and stuff like that, and providing small business with the quality content for their social media. But yeah, it's been crazy.
So you said at Off in the Night?
At Off in the Night.
That's different than DavidTookIt? You have 2?
Yeah, so I have 3. So at Off in the Night is my boudoir page. DavidTookIt is my, you know, my normal stuff, so family, seniors, 30-year-old birthday, whatever. And then I have TookIt Fitness at TookIt Fitness. And that's all fitness stuff. And I made that decision early because I noticed I would get more likes on a senior picture than I would out of this boudoir. You know, like a lot of my clients.
What is boudoir?
So boudoir would be like your lingerie shoots with women. You know, like it would be like a swimsuit shoot, kind of one piece, you know, whatever. Sometimes no clothes, but like you keep it tasteful. There's like a thin line between boudoir and erotic, but yeah, like, so I noticed I was getting less attention and retention. And at that time, Instagram was going through a thing where they would shadow ban posts that contain certain hashtags. So for a while, you couldn't look up hashtag boudoir photography. It would just shadow ban it. You would see 4 or 6 posts, and then it would say no more images to display. But you're like, you know, everybody's using that hashtag. So I decided to separate it. And I'm glad I wish I would have did it sooner, honestly. You know, like now my boudoir clients know, like if they want to see that, then they can go to that page. And same thing, I noticed the same, like I wasn't getting the same traction and retention posting fitness photo shoots with bodybuilders. I shoot for 3 pro bodybuilders in town, and a lot of really, really great like physique national level competitors and stuff. Like
who are they? Shout them out.
All right, shout out IFBB pro Jordan Tripp, Pueblo native, IFBB pro Brad Helm, Pueblo native, and then he resides in Pueblo now, but it's going to be Alex Arave. He just got his pro card not too long ago in men's physique. And then I shoot for a pro golfer just recently. That would be cool if she can go pro in bodybuilding too. But Bryce, she's super awesome, also Pueblo grown. So that's another thing too. Pueblo doesn't really support the people who are pro athletes or pro levels, you know, like they just assume like everybody's a wannabe here, you know, but there are people who actually do this for real, you know, like Jordan Tripp, he would be a great one for you to have on the podcast. He, same story, you know, like he worked in a prison too because it was safe. We did it for benefits, and he, you know, played football in college and all that stuff, and he's a pro bodybuilder, and now he runs his personal training full time out of Achieve Fitness. And same thing with the Achieve Fitness owner, like Jim Maychek. He's super awesome, Pueblo grown, grew up in the county with us, and works at the feds too. You know, like it's a safe job, and that's why people do it. But we all got the bigger picture eventually. And yeah, so I consider those guys. Those guys are definitely mentors to me. You know, I could reach out to them any time of the day and ask them questions, or hey, how should I do this? And we all bounce ideas off of each other for business-wise, and you know, we all collaborate, and that's how you grow in this town, and that's how you grow in business. It's all about collaboration. and not being like, oh, I'm above you or whatever, like I'm better than you, as soon as like the other guy, Kenny Garcia, Kenny G Films, he's freaking
Shout out Kenny G
definitely
Films.
shout out Kenny G. Like he announced he was going to do weddings, and I was like, yo dude, like this is a big task, like let's go to lunch, let's discuss, like make sure you're ready, because at the end of the day, if somebody's paying for a service, I want you to provide the best service for your client. I don't care if they book with me or not. I just want you to provide that service for them. So we went to Brews Ale House, and we kind of talked it over, and I brought him on to second shoot a few times, and just to kind of get his head right, with everything that's going on. You're literally putting on a movie in 10 hours, 12 hours for a wedding. It's run and gun shooting. You got to move this light. This audio has to be on him, but the second audio has to be on the mixer. Then we have to wirelessly feed into the microphone. Like there's a lot of stuff that goes into a wedding film, and it's crazy. I wanted to make sure he was ready. But yeah, man, that's actually my next big announcement is I'm no longer shooting weddings. I took my last wedding client, and I think I have 3 more left. I haven't went public with it, so technically this is me going public with it.
Shit.
Yeah,
you heard that first.
The one thing that, like, the main reason why I quit my job over a year ago was to shoot weddings, and now I'm not even doing that. It's insane. Like when I said things have changed so much in the last year, it's been a roller coaster.
Why no more weddings? Too stressful? Too many moving parts?
I use it loosely, but I will still be shooting weddings. Like there's a good chance if there's a Pueblo wedding, you're probably going to see me there. But I will no longer take my own personal weddings. I will second shoot for, I'll shout out the other guys too. Michael Lance, ML Films, he's amazing. He mainly shoots weddings. He's highly involved in the church. I think that's his 9 to 5 is production for the church too, so he's got a lot on his plate. But JSB Cinema, Jordan Borrego, I believe, he's another guy. He shoots amazing films. Him and his wife, I just met them for the first time, but like we're all friends, like we're all super cool. If he needed to borrow a lens, heck yeah, come borrow the lens, like whatever. Shout out, while we're at it, shout out to my second shooter, Avery Lewis. He's held me down. He's the reason why I can shoot all these weddings. He recently quit his job at Vestas as the media guy, and now he edits for a YouTuber full time. Yeah, it's crazy.
Which YouTuber?
Oh my God, he's a gamer. His name's like Koph or something. Koph. I'm not
from Pueblo.
Yeah, the guy's from Pueblo. The streamer is in California, and he just DM'd him one day on Twitter. The streamer was like, "Hey, who knows how to edit videos?" And so he started doing a couple for free, and then he signed the deal. And yeah, Avery is a great guy. You know, and he helps me out, like I said, on the weekends. But the dude, he can edit, and he knows that style of editing and content creation. He does a lot for himself, and I just tried to daily vlog the other day, and kudos to you, Avery, because I can't do that. It's tough, man.
David Vlog, be in the info below. Check that shit out.
If it sees the light of day. I was just telling him it's oh man, I can't. I grew up like watching Casey Neistat, and like his vlogs were just so well put together. It was a movie of his day, and I'm like, man, when did he sleep? Like for you to like run into frame, you have to set the camera up, then run into the frame, check to make sure that you were in focus, maybe do it 3 times. So like you're like 5 to 6 minutes invested into this one shot. And a lot of people don't realize that. And then you've got to, he was using like a drone, then he'd use a camera, then he'd use his phone. Like all this content needs to get into one place on the computer. And like if your organization is off, and like it's just a logistical nightmare in my head. But yeah, so no more shooting weddings. It's just honestly not worth it. I just don't enjoy it like I was, and I feel like I never want to give my clients a subpar video. I put my all into everything, so like I can only shoot at the convention center so many times, and everyone's like, oh, why don't you advertise to shoot elsewhere? Well, that'd be cool. Hire me if you're getting buried somewhere else. But, like it's super tough, like I spend $0 in advertising, and, I have shot in some beautiful places, Pinery at the Hill in the Springs. Most recently, this Black Forest venue was absolutely gorgeous. So I have shot in like really nice places, and those are the ones that keep me wanting to do it. But like at the end of the day, I go to your wedding for 12 hours, and then I have to spend 16 to 20 hours reliving your day by myself in my office. My working files are like 750 gigs for multicam footage, and and this is only at 1080. That JSB Cinema guy shoots in 4K, and I'm like, God, I don't even want to know your like,
Holy shit.
yeah, your storage capacities are just insane. So it's just a lot of stress, and I'm trying to, you know, what's that Drake line? You know, I've been losing friends, or and like whatever, yeah, whatever that stress line is, and I feel that, you know, like I'm trying to make my life as stress free as possible, and right now, like I'm one of a few photographers. If we have a photo shoot today, you will have your link in the morning. You know, I don't like waiting. And if I go to sleep with a clean slate, like right now I should be editing, but you know, you'll get your photos within 24 hours because it helps me sleep. I start every day with a clean slate. That's why people are like, oh, make your bed in the morning. It's the first task that's done, you know, and it's the same thing for me. Videos take a little bit longer, but most of the time I can get them done fairly quickly depending on what they are. But yeah, it's just, yeah, it's a lot of work, and unless I'm doubling my rates, which I don't want to do, it's just easier for me not to shoot them, you know.
You're the sole owner of DavidTookIt?
Yeah, it's just me. I say we a lot, because if there is a need for a second shooter, I will call Avery, I'll call Micah if he's available or whatever, but we're all so damn busy. It's just, I'm a one-man show, so most of the time if you want photo and video, I'm banging the photos, and then we're going to redo it, and I'm going to get the video shot too, you know. So I try not to do that very often, but there's certain times when that does happen. I shoot for a company called Iron Apparel out of the Springs. They're probably one of the biggest merchandise companies for clothing. It's based off like faith and law enforcement and like military type stuff with fitness. So it's kind of a cool little mixture, but I shoot like videos for their advertising, and then I shoot all the photos for their Shopify. Same thing I've shot for Motion Auto TV. They're Pueblo YouTubers. They're killing it. You know, they have crazy videos with Adam LZ. I don't know if anybody's familiar with like the drift car like scene, but Adam LZ is huge. You know, he's done stuff with Tanner Fox and all those guys, like for real big names, and they kill it too. But they're raffling off like a Kia Telluride right now. They've auctioned, or they've raffled off like 3 Supras. Like it's just crazy. Or $50,000 cash. So that's how you know they're killing it. They're offering cash like that, you know.
Damn.
But yeah, so I've shot for a bunch of cool different people, but sometimes they need video and photo, and sometimes I'm a one-man show. But yeah, it's just me, and it's hard to find help, you know. Like look around everywhere. Every business is looking for help, but it's hard to find qualified individuals to do what I do, you know, even just to shoot. It's tough.
Definitely. So you've been shooting for a year by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you had the title DavidTookIt?
Oh man, that's interesting. Legally, February of 2020, I think legally is when the LLC was formed, and that's when I became legit, and you know, started, you know, taxes and everything with it. But DavidTookIt was like named before that. Yeah, it was just, she's going to kill me if I don't shout her out, but Madison Ferguson, I used to always shoot her. Like she was my first shot, you know, like I shot stuff on my iPhone, and that's when I was learning how to edit and all that stuff. And she just kept saying DavidTookIt. And I was like, that's the name, you know, like we're going to run with that. And so that's the name that I, you know, went through with my LLC, you know, for. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Damn. Shout out Madison.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
What was it like LLCing your company?
You sit on your computer, you go to the Colorado Secretary of State website, and you pay $60, and now you're legit all of a sudden. It's so crazy. But the actual step of doing that was like super surreal. It was scary. It was like, man, you know, because you don't know how taxes work when you first get into it. Now, you know, I have an accountant, you know, that I shoot content for, and we have a great relationship. He keeps me out of prison, and you know, we keep the taxes paid. Shout out Brad Doss Financial. But yeah, that was super scary. That was one of my biggest concerns, was like, you know, money management and making sure that I was good to go, because I don't know how to do that. You know, how do you claim taxes on your Venmo purchases? You know, like, I don't know. I still don't know. You know, I print off the, you know, I upload the statements from Venmo, and I send them all to him, you know, and he does my bookkeeping. He does, you know, personal taxes and everything like that. And he makes sure that we're good. He does all the write-offs. So if you have a hobby, LLC your hobby, $40 for insurance. Shout out Brett Holland at State Farm, also Pueblo grown. I keep everything, you know, local if I can. He's super awesome, you know, like it's very affordable to insure your business. And now you get a lot of write-offs. Like I was telling you, man, like if you decide to LLC it, man, that cup becomes a write-off. Oh, you want to carry whatever kind of drink somebody wants, every time you go to Sam's Club, that's a write-off. You know, the mileage there while you're there, all of it, you know. It's crazy, and that's the only way to truly save money, you know, like you're still spending it, but like you're not being taxed on that dollar amount. So it gets interesting for sure. Brad's taught me a lot.
Definitely. Yeah, I would love to LLC this. Yeah, we were talking off air about write-offs and how they work and how they help grow your business. I feel like a lot of successful people, that's like a secret of the rich, you know.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. It's a need to know basis. They don't teach that shit in school. You know, like they teach you how to figure out, you know, the circumference of a circle, which in my adult life I've never had to figure out. But one thing we're all obligated to do is pay taxes, and they don't tell us how that shit works. You know, they don't tell you how a loan works. How does interest rate works? You know, like how to buy a house. How in the hell do you do that? What's an escrow? You know, like all that stuff. You don't know any of it. So like we were talking off air too, like I love to ask questions. You know, working at the prison, you know, most everybody who worked there, I was the youngest one on the complex for like 3 years. You know, I was the baby out there. So like you become attached to, you know, people who are 40, 50, 52 years old. You can't be over 56 and still work there, but like, you know, upper 50s, you know, like most of your parents' age, and you would never think that you're hanging out with people your parents' age outside of work, you know, because that sounds weird. But if you just stop talking and listen, you would know that, you know, they bought 2 or 3 houses. There's people out there who have rentals. They got like 10 rentals. They don't even need to work, but they stay for the healthcare and the retirement, and you're already there. But, you know, like how all of that stuff works, you know, like buying a car, nobody knows how that works. And like, unfortunately, they get you from the jump. I've gotten terrible trade-ins, and I'm still paying the repercussions from my first car deal now. And I've bought like 4 cars since then. You know, it's just rolling over that debt and being upside down and stuff like that. So now, like going into things, I have a different mindset, you know, like straight up, like if I can't buy a car in cash, I'm not going to buy it, you know, from this point on. You know, whether that's an older vehicle or whatever, but like it hurts now to drop off that $500 at the bank, you know, because I know what I put in to make that $500, and, you know, it's truly not worth it, you know, at that point. But yeah, it's super interesting.
Oh yeah. So it seems like you've garnered, I would say, a good name for yourself. You're, I would say, the most popular photographer in Pueblo.
I appreciate that. Heck yeah. Especially our age, you know. There's definitely a lot that have been doing it a lot longer than me. You know, somebody who took me under their wing right when I first started was Natasha Rose. She's been doing it for 12 years. From that, it stemmed to Vanessa Rosas. She's in the Springs, but graduated from South. And then there's a lot of creatives from one of these certain classes. I don't remember what year, but there was a lot of creatives that came out of South High School who are actually photographers. But there's not a lot of us who do it full time. There's a lot of, you know, fly-by-night photographers. We call them Uncle Bobs too. You know, the cousin who shows up at your wedding with the damn camera, and they proceed to stand in my way. I'm not afraid. I'll booty bump them at this point. Like, just get out of my way. If you were worth the shit, they would have hired you. You know, like, so get out of my way with your kit lens and your Canon T6. You know, like, get out of here. You know, not saying that I'm better, but I was hired to do a job, and you're in the way of my job. You know, you're preventing me from doing my job. But yeah, I appreciate that definitely. As far as like our age group and stuff, like I feel like I don't know who's doing it more than me. Like people say they're doing it and everything is fake, but like message me right now. I'll send you my calendar, and I'll show you like what busy is, and I hope to double that next year and show like really engulf in what busy could be, you know. Like you can always do more. I'm somebody who's like never satisfied. So like that's why I don't drink, that's why I don't smoke. I have a super addictive personality, so anything that brings me pleasure, like I hone in, I go in 110% on, you know. Like luckily, and like I'm backed. My girlfriend, shout out Jamie, she supports me, she understands the hustle, she knows what it takes. And like I messaged her, you know, this podcast was supposed to happen earlier and this is the time that we hang out. I was like, yo, we moved the podcast, you know, like don't hate me, you know, whatever. She's like, no, like go out there, kill it, do what you do, you know, be the best version of yourself. So having somebody in your corner, you know, who supports you and pushes you to be the best version of yourself, like that's almost as important as like anything else, you know, like that's more important than most things, you know, having that person that keeps you flowing creatively and stuff like that, and want you to succeed more than you want yourself to succeed. And I want the same thing for her, on the back end. So it's a true power couple thing. A lot of people really claim it, and I'm like, man, like, until I got into this industry, I had no idea, like what it took. And now it's like late nights, like I was complaining about working 16-hour shifts at the prison. I probably work 16 hours ish a day anyway. Like I said, I haven't had a day off in like 2 months, and that's, everyone's like, oh, you can schedule days off. Yeah, I could, but like there's that slow season. Like January and February and March are like standstill, like that's boudoir season, so sexy flexy time, but Valentine's Day stuff. But that's how people supplement their income. But as far as like natural light outdoor shooting, what are you going to go outside when it's cold? Hell no, I'm not going to go out there. So,
yeah,
I prepare and stack, hibernate for the winter, and then make sure my bills are good. That's all I care about. Make sure the bills are good.
So, tell us about this boudoir.
Yeah.
Like, all right, so it's
so it's how is it put? It's, oh man, it's tasteful nudes essentially. It's got a really weird name for it, but like I said, it's like lingerie type stuff. It's all implied nudity. It's implied activities. So like you might have a girl with like her hand on her throat, head back, mouth slightly open. Like it's provocative. It's meant to invoke a certain feeling in somebody, and it's meant to invoke that feeling in her to make sure like she still feels like she's got it. She's still that girl. Like. And she's killing it. So I get a lot of clients who, like, sometimes we run a boudoir marathon and I'll team up with a hair and makeup artist, and we'll charge X amount, and you have a 30-minute photo shoot window. You get full hair, makeup, and it's this much money. And we will run like 8 to 10 girls, 15 girls through in that time frame. We'll find a hotel room or a room that we want to do it in, like do all the photos in and stuff, and kind of go from there. But like, it's an empowering thing, and a lot of girls do it, but you just won't know because they won't post them. They won't post them online, and that they're, at the end of the day, it's for them or them and their man, whatever. Maybe she lost 50 pounds and she wants to showcase that. Like, heck yeah, no, I'd love to. Like, I want you to feel good about yourself and hold your head up high. Like, women beat women up like all the time, and like, I'll go on and say this now. I refuse to liquefy your body. Everyone's like, oh, you're gonna make me skinny? No, but Jordan Tripp will, like go hit him up. He's a personal trainer, like pay him, get in that gym, do those squats, do whatever, because that's going to make you feel better. But like me going in and like, if you've got a roll on your side, if you want me to smooth that out, bring in your hips, make that butt a little bigger, I'm not your guy. I refuse to Photoshop people. I'll enhance eyeballs, I'll whiten teeth all day. That's actually my standard. I love white teeth and I love enhanced eyeballs. I'm just enhancing what's already there, but I refuse to give you a bigger butt. I refuse to take off that stretch mark. Like, that shit tells a story, like whether you've had a kid or not, like that's part of your beauty. That's who makes you you, so I'm very, very like so overly pissed off at like magazines and stuff and what that has done to like body image and body shaming and all that stuff. Like, it doesn't, I don't mess with that at all,
Damn.
I'm passionate about that
for
sure.
For sure.
Because there are a lot of people who do it, and I'm not with it.
Damn. Have you ever made like, I guess I'll ask this question. What's the weirdest request you've ever gotten to
photograph?
Yeah.
Oh God, that's a good one, man. The weirdest request. I've shot a swingers party.
All right, tell us about that.
It was a swingers party. I got invited to.
You got invited to?
It happened here in Pueblo too.
You can drop that address.
That's right. It's at the reservoir. There was a string of boats. There was about 20 boats. I had to be brought in on a jet ski. I was invited over. Essentially, it's exactly what you think it was. Like, all the girls were topless. Dudes were wearing like Speedos. I don't know. I think it's like a traveling like swingers community or whatever. And this was one of the stops. And I think they travel around. But I mean, there was like, from what my understanding was, there's like teachers there. There's like principals. There's like bank presidents and stuff like that who are just about that life. And that's what they choose to do. So anyway, I was invited over onto this boat. I could only shoot a certain direction. And then like, I kind of like had to feed it out. Like I couldn't just go around and be that weirdo with a fucking camera. I'm the only one with clothes on. Like
Yeah.
what the hell? But yeah, that was a
Totally.
crazy experience. But yeah, that's probably the craziest thing I've
Damn.
ever shot. Like as far as like people are like, what the heck, you shot that? But there's a thing called couples boudoir, you know, where it's you and your significant other, and we're going to imply the shit out of this. And that's why I said boudoir has like a thin line between that and erotic, because some photographers will allow you to do certain things, other you can only act certain acts, and like it just depends. But yeah, it's super high in demand.
Damn.
There's photographers that only shoot boudoir, and they build a studio at their house, they build a set, and they have full hair, makeup, wardrobe, everything. They have a boutique, and these girls kill it. And all the way in Springs, you know, like it's not that far away. Like these girls do that shit for a living, and it might be $1,300 for that experience, but you're paying for the experience.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
And he has all the footage.
Whatever you need.
Dated.
Follow my OnlyFans. No, and actually that's another good play too. Shooting for OnlyFans or photographers with OnlyFans. So there's another photography strategy where I don't know the logistics and the details. I'm just saying. There's photographers who will post something on their Instagram of like Instagram worthy with him and a model, right? Or just the model, not him and the model. That's weird. Never touch the model. Never compliment the model. Like there's strict rules. But anyway, so they'll post, you know, like here's so-and-so, like whatever, link in bio if you want to see the rest. So him and her, like she releases the photos. He probably shot it for her for free, right? Or like a small discount or whatever. And then he runs an OnlyFans and charges for that photo set. And then they either come up with a payment arrangement based off that. But photographers actually have OnlyFans, and that's a genius idea. You know, like people do it every day, and I think it's very profitable.
Definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you have one?
No, I don't. I was just kidding.
But thinking about making one?
No, I think if I drop off, besides weddings, if I stop shooting anything, it would be boudoir. It's
really,
yeah, you know, like most dudes are like, man, you have the job. I'm telling you, you have the job. But I'm like, I have to make sure that these girls look good. I have to go ahead of time and make that hotel reservation, only for them to text me the day of and say that their Fashion Nova order didn't come in time. And now I'm stuck and I'm hit on this reservation. And, you know, like I just take it in the pocketbook, you know. So I either shoot something for discount or for free. But who's off on a Wednesday in the middle of the day, you know, besides this girl, because that fit her schedule, you know. So it becomes a logistical nightmare. Right now I charge like 50% down, you know, to do that shoot, because it covers me in all bases for the most part. If I take an L on it, I still made that money, you know. If you reschedule or your Fashion Nova order doesn't come in. I've had girls book stuff, more so boudoir, and then they'll just get cold feet and just not do it. You know, they'll leave me on red or like come up with an excuse, and like they're like, oh yeah, we'll have to reschedule. Yeah, sure, we'll reschedule, but
never happened.
I don't really care. You know, I took your deposit. It is what it is. If you don't want to do it and you don't feel comfortable or something like that, like that's on you. And being a dude who shoots it, like I'm already like in negative filled. You know, but I feel like my boudoir photos look like nobody else's either. You know, like they're dark and moody is the style that I shoot. It's dark, moody. It's like almost like voyeurism too in some of these shots where it's like, oh, you know, like you're peeking in through the door and you see this. You know, like I try and make a different look for that, and I shoot video for that too. There's not a lot of videographers who would shoot that or do shoot it. You know, same thing. Maternities, engagements. I shoot video for those too. That is a service that I don't think anybody else in this town does. You know, so it just keeps me creatively moving.
So, are any of those boudoir photo shoots, are you published for any of those? I see you're 6-time published.
Yeah, so I'm 6 times published. Actually got another one in the DM for the Pumpkinhead boudoir shoot that I did with Crystal Kennedy. Shout out Crystal.
They actually are some of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I just did a lighting seminar with, I would say, the best fitness photographer in the United States. Brett Seeley, he's known for messy, how does he put it? Messy, sexy fitness type shoots. So he might get an IFBB pro, you know, like bodybuilder chick, and he'll put like paint on them and then shoot them with like 6 strobes, you know, like off camera flash or whatever. And it just makes the craziest thing. They might put baby powder in her hair and have her do a hair flip, and he'll catch that shot with like the powder up. He might put them in dirt or mud. Like he's just known for the most outlandish, like scenes, body paint. Like, I did a one-on-one session. It was a small group of 3 photographers, and we went over off-camera flash. We went over lighting, projector stuff. I haven't even posted some of that stuff just because I don't have the means to recreate it right now, which is something I have in the works. Is I want to have a shooting studio in Pueblo. That's my 5-month goal. Like, that will happen. I'm putting it out there now. That will happen, very soon. But we shot one-on-one with him, and one of my shots that I got with this girl, she's done ballet her whole life, so she's like all flexible or whatever, and it's just a 2 light shot. She's completely naked, but she's in like this pretzel stance or whatever. I don't even know how to explain it. Well, I'll send it to him and he can put it up on the podcast. But it's in black and white, and the original shot wasn't in black and white. I turned it black and white because a magazine, I believe it was like Bare Bones Boudoir magazine, was looking for black and white submissions. So I put it in and they took it. And so there's another one it was submitted for. So like when you go for submissions for some of these magazines, they open it up, and then they like your photo. So you message them the photo, like you email it, put all your contact info, and then you don't know if you made it until the final print comes out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So most of the time they tell you, don't tell anybody or your clients. Obviously, like, you have to have the client's permission to post their photo. But they're saying, like, don't let them know until the issue comes out, because you might not make it. So yeah, I'm 6 times, probably 7 times published by the time this posts. But yeah, it's cool. It's totally different. But I would say 50% of those are for boudoir. Wow. Which is crazy. Yeah, because I don't have a very big boudoir following, and I'm not known for that. But the photos speak for themselves.
Damn, that's awesome, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, man.
That's
I appreciate it.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
28. Wow.
Yeah.
By 28, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't ask you that, and you were just saying so many dates. I was like,
yeah,
got to point this down.
Yeah. No, I'm 28 years old.
Hell yeah. Throughout your life, like, did you see this for yourself, or how have your dreams changed throughout?
Oh man. No, like I said, I thought I was destined for like law enforcement, and I went to a party when I was in like 5th grade, and they had like a fortune teller, tarot card reader person, and she like read your palm or whatever, and she's like, you're gonna be federal law enforcement, FBI. And I was like, huh, that's crazy, because I never thought about that. I'm good on that, and I did come, like close to that. When you get hired with the feds, like every law enforcement agency goes to the same like training academy in Georgia. It's called FLETC is what we like refer to it as, but it's the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, and it's an old Air Force base, but there's 92 different federal law enforcement specific agencies that are there. FBI, DEA, ATF, all the alphabet boys are there, but I don't know, like, it's just crazy, so I guess in my head, that's always been in the back of my head, like, that's what I'm going to be. She read my hand, that's what it's going to be, but I don't know, I just thought, I'd have like a bigger role in that. Like, I took over one of the programs that they had in there that nobody wanted to do, which was visiting at the biggest visiting room on the complex, and it's the busiest, and it's only one person because the security level's so low. And like, I kind of rewrote all that, but I wanted to work there to work IT. That's all I wanted to do, is just work on computers. But that didn't happen. But as far as that, I didn't really have goals. I reached my goals by the time I was 21. My goal was to get to the feds and do that, and then once I got in there, it was like, I didn't set any more goals. It was get out of custody is what we called it, quit being an officer and go do something else, while still working for them. I've even actually got to shoot video for the feds.
Oh, wow.
I don't even know how you can see the video, because I don't know if it's been cleared. Oh yeah, I did get an email. It got cleared like 2 years after it posted, but it was the first time they had an ADX inmates painting in cell. Like, usually they had to go somewhere else to do it. This time they were allowed to have the art supply within the cells, and these dudes can paint. Like, the artists, they're just literally artists. Like, it's insane. One of the religious service guys, shout out, God, what's his name? It's gonna drive me crazy. Justin Reddick.
Shout out Justin.
Yeah, he's a religious service guy, and he has a big hand in the art scene here, along with Matt Reffick. He's Matt Reffick, I guarantee you've seen a lot of his murals. Downtown by D Taco, that big like mural on that wall, Matt Reffick did that.
Oh wow.
The one at Phil's Radiator with the sunflower and like the girl falling out of the window, that's all Matt. Like he's like the mural guy. But he was actually teaching art mediums at the ADX with the Supermax inmates and doing like one-on-one sessions as like a volunteer. But they put together an art show in Canyon City, and I was able to showcase all of the art that they had in there from dudes essentially doing life. And yeah, there's some, I don't know if I have the photos anymore, but I'll send those to you too so you can put them up. But there's a crazy shot with a dude, he's a wizard, and it's like a circuitry board behind him, and he's sitting on a box of like Amazon and FedEx boxes, and like he's looking at a phone. Like it's just crazy, you know, like that's what these dudes, you know, like captured. And that's what, because they have access, they have a TV in their room, they see the news and shit, you know. So that's like what he portrayed, you know, as Americans as, you know, like it's crazy. But yeah, as for like goals and where I'm at, yeah, I had no idea. I would have never guessed. My goal was don't fail, you know, be successful at something, just don't fail. And so far I've taken risks, and I've never, you know, I haven't failed yet, you know. So that only makes me want to take bigger risk, is the reward is bigger, you know, at the end of the day. And if you fail, you brush yourself off. But once you make that jump, you don't allow yourself to fail, you know. So you do whatever it takes. If somebody DM'd you right now and it was somebody interesting and was like, hey, can I hop on the podcast? You say come through right now, you know, because you can't fail.
Depends who it was.
I'm sure, yeah, of course,
who-
yeah, no, of course, yeah. If they were a little clouded, I'm sure, like, hell yeah, get on here, you know, whatever. But yeah, you just you can't fail.
For sure.
End of the day.
Yeah, you know, as long as you're trying something new, it's every failure is a learning experience.
100%.
You know, there's no such thing as failure. It's just a lesson learned.
Exactly. Yeah, life is what is it? Life is 10% of what happens and 90% of how you react to it. You know, like 100%. I'm a firm believer in that. You know, like you know, everybody could be like, oh man, I had the worst day yesterday. You know, like my car tire popped or whatever. Or I came to my car and the car tire was flat. It's like, man, that sounds good. Nobody got hurt. You know, yeah, it sucks. You got to buy a tire. I hate going to the tire shop. You know, that sucks. You had to change it. But like, what if you're on the interstate and that shit popped? You're gonna have a whole lot more issues, you know, if you're on the side of the highway versus in your driveway, you know. So like, I try and see the good in things, you know. I'm a half full kind of guy, you know. But yeah, that's just who I am, you know. I'm a super positive person, you know. I only want people to do the best, you know, and be the best versions of themselves.
Hell yeah, man, that's a good outlook.
Yeah.
So the other day when Instagram and Facebook and shit went down, you know, like, how did you feel about that? Because I'm assuming...
Oh man, I think I even tweeted it actually, and I don't tweet, like I forget about Twitter, like I don't even use it, but like I was super pissed that I had 3 photo shoots that day. A lot of locations are contingent until the day of. I even put it in the calendar event, like I will let you know exact time and location, because sun time changes and the exact location. I could say we're going to shoot at the city park, but you don't know exactly where I'm going to be. And if you're driving around like an idiot, that's just wasted time. You know, I like to be efficient. Communication is the key to success. But I had clients that were in limbo. I was in talks. We had just shot with Iron Apparel, and he was supposed to come drop off clothing. I have 4 models that I use for Iron Apparel. I personally know 2 of them. My girlfriend outsourced 2 other models from her gym, and I had no way to communicate with my models. And it was like an eye-opening thing for me, because I usually only communicate through social, because who wants to have a bunch of random phone numbers in their phone? But now I know at least I should get a phone number. So another cool thing that's rolling out, I just did my first booking on it today, but my website will be live through Square Appointments. And so you can go through and check my availability, figure out my prices and everything, and pretty much self-service book your own photo shoot. It takes the deposit right away. But with that, on the business back end, and this was like learning from a bunch of barbers, shout out JR Sanchez, like out of Aguilar's, like he's the one who turned me on to Square Appointments and like self-servicing your booking. Because I asked him, I was like, dude, you know, like you're probably the busiest barber in town. He's booked out 6 weeks in advance. Like, how in the hell do you not go crazy? I go crazy and I'm booking 1 thing a day. And he's like, Square Appointments, that's the only way. And it literally, it's been amazing. And it's scary, you know, like it's always like letting go. I'm a control freak. Being a photographer, you are in control. You're in control of your camera settings, your lighting, everything, audio. everything's in a manual setting. A real photographer doesn't shoot in auto mode because you want the most control. But he's like, man, just, I wish I would have did it sooner. I wish I would have did it sooner. And when people say that, I'm like, man, like I've got to do it. So the website will be live. The link will be in my bio of my Instagram, where you can just go on there, book, see what's available. Feel free, still DM me, ask me, whatever. But when it comes down to booking versus me going in my Google calendars, making the event, grabbing contact info, I only grab the email and the method that we're talking. So if it's like Derek, personal Facebook Messenger, shooting at this time, quoted X amount of dollars, paid this much deposit, the method you paid it, whether it was Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, just so I kind of know, like, oh man, can I double check the deposit? Like, what email did this come from? But Square, it literally makes you put your phone number in there, your email, your name, and even a card on file. I don't get to see the card number, but like I can charge you from there. But like, I just realized the importance of having a phone number tied to the client, so when it went down, it was like, man, this sucks, like I was still trying to send DMs. Like, you don't realize how much you use it until you can't use it, how much we take that shit for granted. And luckily I didn't lose out on anything, but there was a lot of stuff in limbo, like when we're on the brink of booking, I try and make it immediate that when you send your deposit, you get your event confirmation. Because if not, I'm just going to forget, and I don't want to do that. And I've been in that position a couple times where I accidentally open a DM and I'm like, shit, well, now I'm committed, 9:30 at night, I'm committed to making this, like customer interaction. I set hours for myself. I probably won't answer a DM after 7:00. It's not that important. I'll reply back to it in the morning when I have time, and I dedicate like an hour, the first hour of my day is set up for appointments, getting back to clients, delivering last night's album and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But it was a royal pain in the ass, if I'm being honest.
Your website is what, DavidTookIt.com?
It would be DavidTookIt.square.some, whatever their Square thing is. I didn't buy the domain yet.
For sure. We'll drop the link in the description.
Yeah, you could check it out. It's cool. Like, I fought having a website too. Like, I fought it for so long because I was like, man, like, I'll take a banger like 2 days ago and I'm like, I love this picture. Damn it, I got to upload it, got to change my site. Now it just, it has my Instagram feed on the bottom. So as I post photos, like you can see like the feed, which is super cool. Like I want people to be able to see the feed because for the most part, I probably post 90% of my photo shoots. There's a lot of stuff that I don't post, like if it's for headshots for a specific person, like I did HomeSmart Realty, they hired me and they put out an email, hey, if you need your headshots fixed, like come in, it's like 15-minute sessions, it's X amount of dollars for this many photos. Like I didn't post any of those, but I'm super proud of those photos that I pumped out, like some of them are just insane, and they've never had headshots like that is what they told me. And we just did it in office against like a white wall, like what I was able to achieve with off-camera flash that I learned was just insane. But yeah, I post like 90% of my stuff on Instagram, and I'm just glad it auto feeds to the website now because that's one less thing I got to worry about.
Mm-hmm. Damn. So you were saying that you don't shoot music videos.
I knew you were going to bring this up.
No rappers.
Yeah. So everyone, God, how can I put this lightly?
No, don't put it lightly.
Okay. Shout out to those guys who do shoot music videos. You're telling a story from 4 different angles with dudes who don't know their lyrics. You're getting a gun pointed at you for 7 hours on the music video shoot. And it's just like, I don't want to do that. Like I do this, this is my business. If you do it part-time and you love it and you're trying to help the homie out, like 100%. Like I fuck with my boy, Ryan, RVXN. We've shot music.
Shout out Ryan.
Yeah, 100% shout out Ryan. Like, if he had more time to dedicate to this, like, there's no doubt in my mind he would go all the way to the top. Like we have a song now, like I'll give you the link for that. It's called Look So Mean. You were talking about Boudoir. We shot 3 different girls for Boudoir, and it was the coolest thing ever. I was actually sitting at work and I was like, fuck man, I need to do something. And it was Boudoir season, and I was like, you know what, let's do this. So I called 3 different girls that I knew that would be willing to do it, that I know that would kill it. And I was like, my main goal is to shoot a video. So I got all the B-roll of like the girls like doing their thing. It might be walking onto a bed, dropping a robe. Like we had roses on some, like whatever. And we shot 3 of those through 3 different days. 2 of them one day, 2 of them the next day. And I sent Ryan 3 songs. I said, I want to make a promo video for this boudoir season because a lot of people don't know that I do video for it. He's like, dope. That's a good idea, man. And I was like, I need you to make a song for it. And he's like, what? And I was like, I'm making a promo video for this girl, a promo video for this girl, and I want you to make a song, and we'll use these promos as the music video. And like, we'll have you in there. And he's like, okay, damn. And I'm a big fan of The Weeknd. I like 2 Feet. I like all that like sexy type music. And so I went on there, found us a Weeknd type beat that was just filthy. He bought the rights to it, recorded it with Danny at the Lake House.
Shout out the Lake House.
Yeah, I got all the BTS stuff on there. You know, Ryan has a dope ass verse on it. Well, it's a complete song, you know, verse, chorus, all that stuff, second verse. And we shot a music video with it. And dude, I am super proud of that. You know, like the song came together. I was like, I want it to be empowering. Don't talk about like those blue eyes. Just mention those beautiful eyes, whatever. Like, don't make it specific. Just make it in general. I want that shit to be empowering. I want this to be, you know, like this is a pump up anthem for girls, but I still want it to be sexy. Like, she could smash her old dude to this song. You know, like that's what I want. And that's exactly what he gave me. You know, he played it over the phone and I was like, I'm on my way. And I went to Danny's house. I went to the Lake House real quick and it sounded amazing. If you haven't been in there, it's a vibe, dude, man. He's got the LED lights everywhere. Like, it's just a whole vibe. And that was the old setup. I'm sure it's even cooler now. I haven't been in there for a while, but yeah, man, we shot that music video. But like, going back to why I don't shoot them, it's like, it's just not profitable. And like, if I'm going to dedicate that much time, like my day rate is $2,500 for a wedding, you know, like that's what it is right now. So if you're like, oh, let's do this cool ass music video where like it's super cinematic and we're going to do X, Y, and Z and we're going to make a movie. Like all these dudes are like, it's going to be a movie. It's going to be a movie. Like, dope. Fuck yeah. Let's make it a movie until they get hit with that $2,500 invoice. And they're like, well, I thought we were homies. So you're like, no, apparently not. You know, like you're a client and you want something that I can provide to you. So I would say day rate music videos, $2,500. No one's going to pay for it. Mm-hmm. I don't even bother. You know, like I believe in certain people and I want to help those who are deserving. So I fuck with Ryan heavy and I shoot his stuff at a way discounted rate just because I truly fuck with his music. Since like 8th grade, we were this is where timeline editing for video and stuff, I was the guy behind the computer while he was rapping, him and Corey. Shout out Corey, TKO. He's doing his thing on the East Coast, just kind of living life, trying to figure out what's up. And he's just doing his thing. And yeah, so like video editing and audio editing are very synonymous because it's all in a timeline. You know, you chop, you cut, you know, and we've learned, you know, like how to take those taglines out of producers' beats, you know, by mixing from down here and chopping this piece out and putting that, you know, on the drop, you know. And that like kind of translated to video, but like I shot early music videos for Ryan on my iPhone and like I was super pumped with them. But we have like I said, Look So Mean. That's actually on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you get your music. And that's the first one we pushed like on DistroKid and pushed everywhere. I shot the album cover for that. It's super dope. It's him on a bed. There's a girl like in lingerie with a ski mask on next to him. Or the original had a ski mask. I think he opted for it out. I don't remember. I haven't looked at the album cover, but it's a solid ass song, dude. Like I can pull that shit up right now. Actually.
All right, let's check it out.
Yeah. You should see it on YouTube. Look So Mean music video.
Shout out Ryan. I think he's playing the show at this undisclosed location in Pueblo, right?
Yeah, undisclosed location.
Undisclosed location.
Yeah, RVXN. He'll be on there. I got a wedding to shoot that day. I'm telling you, no days off. I have a baptism, a wedding, and then right after I get done with that wedding, I'll take that card out, put in another card, and then I'm going to the show to shoot Ryan for sure. RVXN.
RVXN.
Yeah, see if you can find it. Look So Mean. Yeah. Let's see here. Scroll down.
Oh, I put an A.
Yeah, type in Look So Mean after that.
Shout out Bruce Buffer by Rick G. Oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah. RVXN, that top one.
Yeah.
Go down.
This one.
Boom. Yeah, that. Click that. You ain't ready. Oh, ad. Who's getting the ad revenue from that? Because it's not me.
It's definitely not me.
Damn it, Ryan. See, yeah, that's the album art. You know, like it's super dope. There should be a music video in there too. I swear it was, but you can hear it.
I think it's just.
Can you hear it?
I think it's just playing through the headphones.
Is it? Cinematic shots of like the girls walking into the room. The thought behind it was like, oh wait for it to drop.
So you shot the cover.
Shot the cover, shot the music video.
Yeah, he's definitely got.
Dude,
he's got the look, bro. He looks like a rapper.
He's got the look. He's got the voice. He added his hand. He got the little job stopper on the top of the palm.
The job stopper.
The job stopper. he didn't get a face tat. His mom would kill him.
I could see it. He'll look so mean.
Oh, 100%. But yeah, dude, it's a certified bop. It sounds good. Like, Danny's quality is fucking crazy. You know, like, it's absolutely nuts. And it shows in this song for sure. And Ryan's ability to write a song is just absolutely nuts. Like, start to finish. Like, I've seen him, you know, just freestyle it. And, like, just watching him work is crazy. And that's why I believe in him so much. Like, he just doesn't have the time to do it. You know, he's working that 9 to 5 and, you know, it's unfortunate that he can't make that jump right now or, you know, commit more time to music. But definitely add that to your playlist. Look So Mean, RVXN. It's super dope. Just take a listen.
Hell yeah. I would love to
make sure our settings are good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Sounds kind of staticky.
I was going to say that gain might be too high on that second knob. I think that was the one that introduced the static. Let me see. Yeah, that sounds good.
Technical difficulties. There we go.
Now. There we are.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I would love to have Ryan on the podcast,
yeah,
man.
Absolutely. Like I said, I'll figure out his days off, and I'll have him link on Saturday too. So I think that'll be really huge. You know, like he hasn't released a song in a minute, and we did a lot of his music videos are actually on my Facebook page, facebook.com/DavidTookIt, and you can go in there and see the music videos. We shot another one. God, I don't even know the name of the song, but essentially it's a two-way conversation. The girl's just, the first verse is him talking on behalf of the girl, and that's what I like about him. He tells a story, you know, like it's you can picture it. So like when he drops me, like I have heat in my email, heat from unreleased shit from Ryan. But you know, she's, you know, like, why the fuck are you so lazy? Why the fuck are you so crazy? Like, she's just going in on him. And the whole beginning of the music video is just him in like 5 different spots, like on the phone. And he's just like, you know, like when your girl's just leaning into you on the phone and you know you fucked up. And he's just like going through it. We were like on the parking garage. We were in the park. We were driving. We were everywhere. And then the second verse is like him snapping back. Like he's sick of, you know, being in a toxic relationship. And, it's just a dope song, and the last shot is like him walking with the bottle of Sailor Jerry in his back pocket. He stops, takes a drink, and then it cuts to him throwing his phone off Liberty Point. You know, like it's a super dope shot. You know, like I was super proud about it. Like the way it color graded, the way it was shot. We waited for golden hour. We did it perfectly. Outside of him not knowing his lyrics most of the time, that's our like running joke is like, did you remember your lyrics? Nah, man. Like we're gonna have to listen to it a few times, you know. Yeah. Because you work on a song and then you move on from it, and that's just what it is, you know. But yeah, I was super proud of, you know, the way those music videos came out, and I would love to do more music videos. Another great dude who does it musically here in town, Christian Hawkes. He plays at the Senate. He does the guitar loops, so he might play like a Santana song and loop it and go into Wild Thoughts. Then it's Santana. Then it's, you know, whatever the sample is. And he just builds the beat with the guitar. And like I want to get those two on a track together. And like Christian kills it. That dude can sing like nobody's business for no reason. Yeah, he's super dope.
Yeah, what's his name again?
Christian Hawkes.
Christian Hawkes.
He doesn't release a lot of stuff solo. He's done some stuff with a dude in Denver. He's on a chorus. That one's on Apple Music, Spotify, and all that stuff. I forgot the name of the song, but it was solid, you know. But like I want to link those two together because I think together they would be unstoppable, truly, you know. But will it ever happen? I don't know. But
hell yeah, you got to make it happen, man.
It'd be super cool, you know. Like Christian has like a Teddy Swims style vibe. I don't know if you've watched any Teddy Swims videos. He's this big fat dude with a mullet, face tats, and he'll sing Omarion, You Should Let Me Love You, and you're like serenaded, you know, and
Like
this,
Jelly Roll.
yeah, straight Jelly Roll type shit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to shoot music videos like that, like open mic. I'm obsessed with Tiny Desk concerts.
Totally.
Like, dude, I love it. The Mac Miller one, the Tech Nine one, like, dude, all the way down to like the Giveon. Giveon has the crazy deep voice, and oh man, I'm obsessed with the way that, you know, some of those are shot. The Justin Bieber Tiny Desk. Can we talk about that?
I've never seen it. Tell me about it.
Yeah, that last album that he just dropped, like, I'm not a believer or anything, but dude, he had Peaches on there. He had like grown ass shit, like shit that we would go through, like, cause he's the same age as us. Shit that we would go through with like chicks or whatever. Like, he's spitting truth, and like, it's a real R&B album. Like, that shit sounds really good. You know, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that, but the Tiny Desk was dope. You know, but I really like shooting stuff like that. Like I said, the passion coming out of a live performance is something I really, really want to do. So hopefully I can do more of that with other artists that I really fuck with, and we can come to an agreement on a price for doing that, you know, because a lot of artists are starving artists, and I'm fortunate that I'm not one of those, you know, but a lot of art industries are like, man, you know, like, you could be a rock painter, and I'm like, man, I would love to have my rock paintings displayed on a video. I would love it too, but, you know, like, are you gonna pay for it?
I would love
you know,
it too.
Like, I would love it too. Yeah, it's super cinematic. You pull out that rock out of the dirt, you wash it off. You know, like, when I think about things, it's like the steps of how we got there. You know, you mixing your paint. What if you airbrush it? You know, getting the, you know, like in Toy Story when Woody was getting fixed. You know, and like that cinematic sequence of like him getting stitched up. He painted over the Andy on the boot. Like, that shit hit everybody, and that's what I want to do. I like to invoke emotion in all my videos. I tell all my wedding clients, I'm going to make you laugh, and I want to make you cry immediately right after, and then I want to make you smile at the end. You know, like, that's my goal. You know, I want to hit all those emotions. I don't want to make you mad, but I will if I have to, you know.
Yeah. Wow, man. Yeah, I honestly got lost in your storytelling right there, man. That was cinematic.
Yeah, no, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. You know, like, I shoot for, like, shout out Andres Acuna. He owns Rocky Mountain Dent and Detail, and we've shot some super cinematic X-coat, like, ceramic coating you know, like, shots, and we've done like cars, him detailing cars in the rain, and like, it's just super cinematic. Like, I used to really, really hone in on car detailing, so like, it's like a passion for me, but I just get to display him doing it and like breaking his back doing it, but like, it's cool as hell, you know. So these videos would be dropping, and that's the thing, is like, I do a lot of video, but Instagram isn't built for video. I hate vertical video. Kenny loves vertical video, but I can't stand it personally. It's not timeless, you know. Like, pull up a YouTube short on an iMac. Why even have an iMac? You know, like, it's just going to be like right in the middle of the screen. Transitions are cooler, they're easier, but like, it's just not timeless. But I try and shoot everything sideways. Sometimes you got to shoot it up and down, but like, yeah, I don't post a lot of videos on YouTube. Most of my videos are going to be on Facebook, and there's not a lot of people on Facebook that, like, a lot of inquiries come from Facebook from the older people, you know, trying to get family photos, but like, all the model stuff and like people our age, it's going to come from Instagram. So like, I need to figure out a way to push my videos on Instagram more. And I like the idea of starting a YouTube channel right now, that it doesn't even sound appealing. I don't have time for that shit.
Yeah, it is pretty time consuming.
100%, you know, like, social media itself is a full-time job when you're doing it correctly. You know, I try and post at least 4 to 5 times a week. And I post in threes. If you go on my Instagram, there's like a whole aesthetic, you know, like, you post in threes, and like, I try and like make the right one, the girl or the guy, the subject looking inward, and the middle one is a straight on shot, and the other one is looking the other way, you know. Like, I like to draw attention to the middle one and like have a flow to it and stuff. I don't want people to think like, he got 1 lucky shot. No, I got 3, and sometimes I have 9, but I can't double post, you know. But sometimes I'll get greedy and throw one in the story and be like, new post, whatever. But yeah.
Hell yeah. So outside of photography, what are you into? Like, what do you do?
Man, there's a life outside of photography. No, like, you're so involved in this, but I hate traveling for photography. I like traveling for myself. So COVID, dude, flights were so cheap, you know, so I did more traveling during COVID than I have ever in my life. But in January is when I met my girlfriend, and she said she had never been to the beach, and I was like, I'm going to change that. Let's go to Miami. So we went to Miami and then came back 6 weeks later. A lot of her family's from Vegas. And so we went to Vegas, and she's like, my kids have never seen the beach. And I was like, watch this. So we drove to LA. We went to, Santa Monica Pier, and kids got to experience the beach, and like she got to experience it with them. And she's like, like I would have never guessed that we'd be able to do stuff like this. So, spending time with them, traveling a little bit. I don't watch TV. I don't get really hooked into Netflix series. Like what's up with this like squid thing?
Bro, Squid Games,
dude.
You gotta.
I'm like the only one who don't know what the shit.
You gotta catch up on that.
But
it's a Korean.
I don't. Oh, okay. See, I figured I don't fuck with anime and all that other shit.
It's real. It's real life.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I might consider it. But like I fuck with The Office. Like everybody fucks with The Office. But like.
Major gym vibes.
I still don't even thanks. I still don't even like watch too much shit. I don't want to be influenced by somebody else, and I fuck with documentaries. The Last Dance, amazing documentary.
Oh yeah,
that was shot to perfection. Like ESPN and Netflix absolutely killed it. Malice at the Palace, the fight with the NBA players, those like sitting interview scenes are amazing. Like they were in a grungy, and I'm a grunge guy. Like I'm all about like dress up in your formal, and we're gonna go into like the grungiest rusty steel building we can find. I'm gonna throw smoke in there. Like it's gonna be dope. And they did that for every interview. Another good one is the hockey one with the mob. I forgot. It was filmed by the same damn people. I forgot what that one was called. But yeah, man, it was pretty much the mob was laundering money through this hockey team. And it was really crazy. Yeah, it was absolutely nuts. But it was beautifully shot, so I really mess with documentaries and docuseries and stuff like that. But honestly, all I do is I work, I edit. When I'm not working, I'm thinking about work or how to perfect the craft, and like my plot to take over the world, even though that's not really my plan, but it just sounds cool, like, I'm always thinking of my next move, I don't know, like I don't really, outside of work, like this is all I do. It's like work. I'm a shopper, so I love to go shopping and like spend money, whether it's on Amazon or in person or whatever. But
speaking of that, show your drip, bro. This guy came dripped out.
Yeah, a little bit of drip. There's cool stories behind it. Like this 3-carat tennis bracelet came from Carleo Jewelers, which is in Pueblo. This was like the first piece of jewelry my mom ever bought, like with her big girl job. And 3-carat stones they're all gonna test. The ring was a ring that my grandma gave my grandpa for Christmas one year. I have the photo, and she asked, like, when he passed, like, what do you want? And I was like, this is the only thing I want, so I grabbed that. The pinky ring is from Versace. The Versace at the so like
something like
designer stuff is like super interesting to me. Like even the DavidTookIt logo is based off of like the old school Sean John. Like it would read Sean John across, and you knew every time you saw it. This is the Gen 1 with the photography videography at the bottom. I've since got rid of that, and I just run DavidTookIt because people know what it is now, and I think it's a cleaner look. But yeah, it's all inspired from like fashion, like ASAP Rocky, my bad. How he's like super fashion, Calvin Klein, all that stuff, Dior, Givenchy. I just think it's interesting, there's a really good documentary on Netflix about what the hell's the Versace creator and how he was murdered outside of his house. Yeah,
I think it's just called Versace.
Yeah, I think it is called. I forgot what his first name is. Is it Gianni Versace or something?
Yeah, I think it's Gianni.
Yeah, something like that. But like, this dude just went to the beat of his own drum, and he was like smoked outside of his house. And actually, when we were in Miami on South Beach, that's the Versace house he was killed in front of. And I made it a point to, when we went to South Beach, that was like the first place I went. They all went to the beach. I don't like the beach. Me and Adele, like, oh man, we were right there. My brother just moved back from LA, but that line where she's like, I hate the beach, but here I stand in California with my toes in the sand. It's like literally like having the worst time of my life. Like Bernie Sanders meme with my feet in the sand. Like, I'm over it. Yeah, I'm over it. Like I hate the sand. It just gets everywhere. Like, bring the Yeezys to the beach. Like, actually, yeah, it's a funny story. I did bring my Yeezys to the beach because I wasn't aware that we were going to the beach that day. So I was like super in my feelings about it. But yeah, it's whatever. True Religion jeans. It's just, yeah, I actually traded for these jeans. I traded a photo shoot for these jeans. One of my other homies, he had it. He's like, hey man, I outgrew them. You want them? I was like, yeah, let me discount your your photo shoot like $60. And he's like, all right, cool. So we discounted it. I got the jeans and a payment out of it. You know, it's just cool shit like that. But back to the pinky ring. I got COVID the day I bought this pinky ring.
Pinky ring had COVID, gave it to you.
Something like that. Yeah. So Versace in Caesar's Palace. So there's the God, what is it called? There's like a Victoria's Secret. I don't know. It's the Forum Shops, I believe is what it's called. But I went in there and I was looking for this specific pinky ring with the like Cuban link on the side, and then it's got the Versace, like they call it the Greca like logo, or like it's just the shit. It kind of looks like the one from Little Caesars, with the Medusa head on the top. I was like, man, this is a dope ring. I tried to buy one on Rodeo Drive when I was out there when my brother lived in LA, and they didn't have my size, and I was like, oh, it's not meant to be, not meant to be. So then when I was in Vegas for Thanksgiving last year, because my brother lived in LA, I flew there with some friends. He was going to drive down for Thanksgiving, and my parents flew out too. So it was just like everybody was just going to meet there. And I was like, you know what? I've been eyeballing it. Let's just do it. It wasn't that much. And I go in there and like we're just chopping it up with the lady, and I was mentioning Bruno Mars. She had this like big gaudy Medusa head on a Cuban link. It was just disgusting. And it was plated, right? So it was only like $7,000, which, you know, I probably wouldn't spend that on a chain for sure. But the real version is $110,000. And she said that Bruno Mars exclusively shops at that Versace store that I bought the ring at. She said there's like a waiting area in the back. He comes in through the back and we bring him whatever he wants, and like that's where he shops. But that specific store where I bought the pinky ring from is the same one that Bruno Mars shops at.
Damn, that's
crazy.
Pretty sick.
Yeah, it's super crazy. But yeah,
Mr. Lazy Sunday,
dude, for real, Mr. Versace himself. Him and that Silk Sonic. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, the Leave the Door Open. Like, I cannot wait for that album to come out.
Hell
like,
yeah.
That old school shit, like from the way the videos are shot, the way they dress, like he's still wearing he's wearing a Versace chain in every single one, but just the way that that's shot is just amazing. So Bruno as an artist is primo.
Hell yeah.
Can't say enough good shit about that dude. He just seems humble and wholesome, loves the art and fucks with people. Like that other dude, the other guy who's like on the chorus in most of that song, like he didn't really have that much clout, and he just like brought him up. And
who, Anderson .Paak?
Yeah, he wasn't that clouded,
I mean, he wasn't that clouded, but I think he had his own career going.
Oh, 100%. Like his Tiny Desk is dope too.
Definitely.
He definitely had his own work, but it's nothing now compared to like what it's going to be. As soon as his album drops, he's going to be untouchable.
He had this band called No Worries. Anderson .Paak was it?
Hell yeah.
It was him and a producer, No Worries.
Damn. See, I'm gonna have to check that out because he's an old school guy too, and I fuck with that. Duran Jones and the Indications.
Oh yeah,
dude.
Ricky actually put me onto them.
Everybody's sleeping on those guys, and it's just like that lowrider type shit, like old school high pitched voice. Like those dudes are dope. Alabama Shakes. Like once you deep dive into that world, like that genre of music is so sick. Like I mean, everything's super retro right now, but like, man, they're here to stay. They're the truth. Like check that out. Duran Jones and the Indications. Is it any wonder? Like Google that shit. Like if you're watching the podcast, like pause this, go listen to that shit, and just deep dive. You're welcome. Yeah, that shit's fire.
No, Ricky put me onto them actually.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. Fun fact: Ricky's my cousin. He's like my first cousin.
He told me that.
Yeah, it's super crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah, so
I'm actually having his cousin on the pod.
Oh, Josh.
Yep.
Dude, Josh. Actually, yeah. You want to talk about like crazy shit, like, and you should bring this up on their podcast. I don't want to steal their shine or whatever, but like him and they've been content creators forever, dude. Like the first like YouTube videos like that I was really really into, or like anybody I knew that was on YouTube, was Ricky and Josh. They had Viva La Funny, and like they had a couple of videos go all the way up to a dude who was pretty well known in YouTube, Pete Moss. Like he was on the Pete Moss show, like with their videos. Like, they used to do these little skits, and that shit was so funny. And they would just shoot it on like a little easy, like, what do they call them back in the day? Like the flip cams or whatever. They would do that shit on there. And yeah, actually I sold my one of my cameras to Josh. Josh is my cousin too. But yeah, he came through, he bought the camera, and I was like, if you need help with editing, same thing. If you need help with lighting setups, whatever you want, like I got you, I'll help you out, because I just want to see everybody win. And that's dope that he can literally do what he loves. That dude's been obsessed with wrestling since we were young. Our grandpas used to watch wrestling. I go to my grandparents' house, they'd be watching wrestling. you know, like that it's deep rooted in him, you know. So
Hell yeah.
I'm glad he's able to make a living and do exactly what he loves, and you know, get to use the technology and all that stuff and just live a life like that. That's dope as hell.
For sure. Yeah. Shout out Hill Josh. I'm excited to talk to him.
100%. Yeah, he's dope as hell.
Yeah.
You know, definitely a cool ass dude.
So, David, tell the people where they can find you.
Hell yeah.
You know, Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah. Instagram at DavidTookItCO, at Tookit Fitness, at TOOKITFITNESS, or at Off in the Night, Facebook.com/DavidTookIt, and yeah, I think that's everywhere.
That's it.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll drop those in the description too.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, David. It's been a pleasure,
Sweet,
man.
yeah,
Fuck
dude,
yeah.
thank you
Loved
for
having you
me.
on.
Yeah, heck yeah, dude. Great to be here. This is super cool.
Fuck yeah. We'll have to talk a little bit more about getting LLC'd, stuff like that.
Yeah, we'd take you to the top for sure.
For sure, man.
Keep you covered.
This has been Street Champs. Come get put on. Peace.